Good morning and thanks for being with us here on Brightside. I'm Rob Finnerty. There is a massive mess to clean up this morning in Lakeland. It is raising serious health concerns. Hundreds of thousands of gallons of raw sewage dumped into Lake Parker after a sewer line break. And Brightside reporter Josh Sidorowitz, he drew the short straw this morning, Josh. We don't know what happened here, but it's unfortunate that we've got to send you back out to another smelly environment this morning. Any idea how this happened?
Yeah. Well, hey, good morning to you, Rob. You're right, it's not the best time. Though I got to say, the smell, there's not really an overwhelming sense of smell here, if you're wondering. But I want to show you as far as those health concerns. Well, you see signs like this posted all up and down here the lakeshore. City workers came out and put these up yesterday, warning, do not go in this water. It says high bacteria count. Pretty gross when you think about it here. Let's pull up a map so we can give you a better idea of where we are actually at here in Lakeland. This is Lake Parker here. You can see it there. And here's the deal. So our news partners over at the Ledger, they're reporting that more than 200,000 gallons of raw sewage dumped into the lake here yesterday morning after a break in the sewer line, though some estimates in the reports are actually putting it closer to perhaps 400,000 gallons of sewage water that might have actually been dumped into the lake here. So bring you back here live, and I want to explain how this might have happened here. We'll walk you over here. Apparently there is a sewer line that runs down between the lake, which is over on this side of me, and then the road over here. And there were city workers who were out here yesterday pulling up tree stumps, according to the Ledger. And during all of that, they must have somehow inadvertently hit that line, caused it to rupture, and it was a high pressure line here which started to spew all of that water out. So a couple points here I want to go over with you. Good news is the leak has stopped. Crews are expected to come out here this morning and start to repair the broken line here. The manager of Lakeland's Lakes and Stormwater Division told the Ledger that they believe that the spill is contained, that they've actually put out floating barriers in the water, hoping to contain it here, mostly to this area behind me where it originated from. Now, that said, the damage done, the potential long-term impacts from something like this, that is not really clear yet here. We do know that they have been taking water sample tests. Those results should be out here later this morning to give us a better idea. And the city told the Ledger that they do plan to monitor the conditions out here on this lake for perhaps several weeks here to come, doing more tests just to keep an eye on when things perhaps return to a safe level. We know that the Department of Health issued a health advisory about this too. There will be other investigations ongoing here. But Rob, I can imagine that if you're a lakefront property owner here, you are not at all too pleased with what unfolded here yesterday.
No, not at all, Josh, especially as we... Meantime in Lakeland, repairs are going to happen today after a massive sewage spill. A sewage pipe broke on Lake Parker Drive near East Valencia Street late Thursday on the west side of the lake. You can see it there on that map. And Brightside reporter Josh Sidorowitz is there live. Josh, this one, just a tough one for all the people living in that area. So how bad is it? How bad is the smell? What's it like out there?
Well, no phantom odors out here. As a matter of fact, I think within the past hour we have been out here. Every once in a while you start to get a little whiff of it. It's not overwhelming, but there is a little something there. So as far as the extent of the damage here, well, according to the city's Lake and Stormwater Division manager, she told the Ledger that they believe that they feel confident that most of it is contained in an area just offshore here. And in fact, you see those yellow floating barriers that the city actually put in an effort to keep it from spreading any further. Our reporting partners at the Ledger, they say that about 200,000 gallons, well, potentially though as much as 400,000 gallons actually, could have, of that raw sewage, could have dumped into this lake here yesterday. Let me walk you over here, explain kind of how this all happened. So city crews were out here, according to the Ledger. They were pulling up tree stumps, and in the process of pulling up the tree stumps, ruptured the sewer line that runs underground here between the road and the lake. And when that happened, it was a very high pressure line here, so that started to come out. They've since been able to stop the leak, but if you take a look, they've got a massive pipe out here ready to go for when crews are expected to come out here later this morning to begin repairs. Now, as far as long-term impacts, I mean, that's tough to say here. We do know that, and we showed you last hour, the city posted signs up here, warning signs, talking about the high bacteria count that's out there. We know the Florida Health Department issued an advisory yesterday. We know that the Department of Environmental Protection was notified about this yesterday as well. Today, we do expect the results of water test samples to be out. We'll get a better idea of just how bad it is, perhaps how long this will stick around here. Rob?
All right, Hillary, I apologize for that. I was just tweeting something out right now about this same story that we're getting to. At 6:31, crews will be out early this morning repairing a pipe that sent thousands of gallons of raw sewage into a Lakeland lake. We've been talking about this all morning long. A pipe broke on Lake Parker Drive near East Valencia Street late Thursday. That's on the west side of the lake, and a lot of this went into the lake. Brightside reporter Josh Sidorowitz is live there now, Josh, and this morning they've got a new pipe. They're going to be out there early trying to repair this, but I can see the cleanup booms behind you there. A lot of this went right into that lake.
Sure did. Yeah, good morning, Rob. Pretty gross to think about it. We do get a whiff every now and then here, but yeah, you mentioned those yellow booms here. They actually put those in, trying to mitigate it from apparently spreading any further. They think they've contained most of it offshore, but we'll just have to wait and see what the long-term environmental impacts are of this. Our news partners at the Ledger reporting that actually anywhere between 200,000 to as much as 400,000 gallons of raw sewage water was dumped into the lake yesterday after crews who were working here to pull up tree stumps accidentally ruptured a line that runs right underground here between the lake and the road. Now, while the leak has been stopped, crews, as you mentioned, are expected to be out here very soon this morning to start repairs on those lines. In fact, they got a replacement pipe here ready to go to start those repairs. Now, later this morning, we are also expecting to get test results from water samples they've taken. That'll tell us really two things here. One, it gives the city an indication of just what they're dealing with, and also, Rob, just how serious this might ultimately be here.
Not something people out there want to see, especially with everything we've been dealing with red tide and dirty water across, not the immediate Bay Area, but Manatee and Sarasota counties are dealing with this. We're expecting that red tide update a little bit later today.
FWC issuing their updates on Wednesdays and Fridays. And you can kind of get an indication of what we might see. You can check the MOAT website. They've got more frequent updates about